Giants got
Make
stripped.
it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. Here on Facebook Live and YouTube, that is Idris Salam. He is in his vehicle. We got to just get to it, man. Today is the Week 10. Yeah.
This is the Mets guy. Go ahead.
Week 10 NFL review, rundown. Oh, my. New York Football Giants, we'll start with them. So much I have to say. Dexter Lawrence, I'm starting with you. Former Giants legend Carl Banks called you out in a big, big way. In a big way, Carl Banks called you out on everything from lack of effort, not being respected by your opponents, etc. You respond with one tackle for a loss. That's it. The trade deadline's on Tuesday. I just wanted to say that. Deontay Banks, and I'm going to just requote what I put on NFC Beast. You could not cover a newborn baby. You could not cover an idle car with a tarp. John Runyon Jr., at least your father was good at football. Ooh, where else? Where else? Brian Dable? Dude, the desperation that this guy showed chasing Jackson Dart into the tent a couple of weeks ago. Pure desperation. Because he knows that that's the kid that's going to save his job, possibly. I think the Giants would be foolish to just hand Dable more years and allow him to keep this gig just because the kid's playing good. The kid's playing good in spite of having that dude as his head coach. And Shane Bowen, if his key card works today, I lose a lot of faith in a lot of things. The New York Giants succumbed to the San Francisco 49ers and their unstoppable running game in a 34-24 loss, and it was not as close as the score would indicate.
You know something? Mac freaking Jones went 12 for 12 to start the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mac freaking Jones. Are you serious? Listen to me, Giants fans. Listen to me, Giants fans. Stop crying for Odell Beckham. No. Stop crying for Saquon Barkley and saying we should have done it. No. We are not. Look, there's a thing called Forever 27. It's talked about how some of the greatest singers died at 27. Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse. There's many more. Forever 27. This is Dable's last year. It better be. This is the third year he's went 2-7. Forever 27. He got to go unless he goes on a run of 7 games, which ain't happening. Bones has to go because that defense looks like ass wipe right now. Okay. Mike Kafka, if you are calling the plays, you got to go. Because our offense looks nothing like it. Now, let me say this first. We all know preseason is preseason. But preseason when you practice your shit. I don't see what we ran in preseason right now. I don't see none of that. When Brian Dable first came there, he had Daniel Jones. He was already under fire. He had a Saquon Barkley who was coming off the injury. We had a bunch of guys from the practice squad. A few guys they called off the couch. We were 10-7 or 10-6. I can't remember. I know we had a draw
Nine
that year with
nine
Washington.
seven and one. 9-7-1.
Okay, we won, and we beat Minnesota in the playoffs after
Yes,
losing to
sir.
a field goal, which we always lose the field goals for some reason. The long ones, 50, 60
The
yards. That's
Christmas
losing the
Eve
field
game.
goal. Yes, and he won with that team. That team. Yes, close games. A win is a win. We have a far better team. Yes, the schedule's hard, but if you look at our games, we were in them. We had chances to win. Denver, Dallas. That's all I got to say. Ray
Oh, I've got
Hanley,
some.
you are off the hook. You are off the hook because this guy here, Brian Dumbass Dable, has done worse than you. At least they got you out of there in 2 seasons, 14-18 with a 438 win percentage. You got away with it. Happy for you. Made a mistake starting Hostella over my man Sims, but hey, but you're off the hook. Now we got to get Dave Brown out of here.
just to
I'm done.
revisit, just to revisit the Sims game. I remember it very vividly. The end of the Hostetler
Yep.
era, to my recollection, was when they were defeated by the winless Bengals, who were the worst team in the NFL that year.
Worst team in the NFL.
Phil Sims comes in Tampa. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, with the game-winning touchdown, hands the ball off to a service member in uniform. I remember that game vividly.
Yep. Yep.
1991 season, 13-3 team won 8-8. It started off good when they
Yep.
defeated the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football, the first game of the Steve
Yep.
Young era.
Yep.
All right. Giant problems, as I explained. Shane stays. The GM, I believe, stays. I'll tell you why
Yeah.
I want Joe Shane to stay.
Yeah.
He drafted Malik Neighbors. He traded up and got Jackson Dart. He signed Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland, who were playing good football before the injuries. Drafted Tyrone Tracy a
Yep.
year ago. He
Yep.
he got Jermaine Illuminor, who's done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
He had some misses.
This.
Evan Neal was a complete strikeout, as was Deontay Banks. No question about it, a complete strikeout. John Runyon Jr. has had a couple of good games, but all in all, he has not been worth the day one money that they threw him on the day that Saquon Barkley fled to Philly.
But like I said, like we said about Banks and Neal, I wouldn't really hit him in the head on that one about that because everyone thought Neal and Banks were solid picks. They did crash, but I wouldn't say he blew it on those because he didn't reach for them. That's why. But I get what you're saying though.
Is
But
the host smoking a
yeah,
cigarette on the air? You're damn right I am. I'm friggin' stressed out.
I just put my weed down because I don't.
I'm so
Goodbye.
disgusted. And dude, it's not that I had some ridiculous expectations that the New York Football
No,
Giants was supposed to be a 10-win team this year and any of that nonsense.
like
But
I said, 7 games, seven
you
games
beat
in fight.
Philly, then
Yeah.
you have the implosion in Denver. This team doesn't want to be anywhere near any of this. Dexter Lawrence, while I know he's been a fan favorite for years, and I know that anybody is capable of having a down year, I want to trade him before his assets and his value go completely down because it's not going to go up anymore, at least not in Giant Blue. I am ready to move on from Dexter Lawrence because when his backups are in the game, manning down his position, there is not much of a difference. But Dexy, in my personal opinion, is a candidate to get traded right now. You need to build up draft equity if you're the New York Football Giants, and you don't want to ruin Jackson Dart the same way you ruined Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I
Jackson
mean,
Dart
I like
played a
Dexy.
decent game yesterday.
Yeah, I like Dexy, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to trade it, but I agree with what you say though. Because the season is a wash, and we do need to get value out of him while we can. We don't want to wait too long. Dart is our guy. I think Shane nailed that. I think Scat, when he comes back, he's our guy. We got three guys: Scat, Dart, and Neighbors. That's our future right there.
Yeah,
We
they
can
have
add
the
another running back.
potential. They have the
Mhm.
potential to look something like the triplets look like. And when you're going to be
Yeah,
picking more than likely in the top 5 or 6, we may get even closer to the
yeah,
top pick as this season continues. Um,
yeah,
I think you got to go receiver opposite of Neighbors and
yeah,
really set yourself up lovely because you want to
yeah.
cash in on adding talent around Jackson Dart while he is still on his rookie
Mhm.
contract.
Right.
But the biggest issue and the biggest caveat and the biggest surprise to me and many Giant fans
Hmm.
is that we knew that the offense was going to be a work in progress. But when you see
Right.
the defense getting gashed week in and week out on the ground, now I get it. Philly's a good
Hmm.
running team when they need to be. The 49ers are a very good running team. Saquon Barkley had his best game of the year against us, finally broke 100, and really
Yeah.
was just a fluid part of why they beat us that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Second play from scrimmage, he takes it to the house. Christian McCaffrey had a
65
game
yards.
yesterday. Yes, he did.
Well, he does. CMC does what CMC does. So he does what he does. Um.
And on the other side of this, the San Francisco 49ers, I had this conversation with our buddy Brett last night.
Hmm.
Um, I understand that Brock Purdy has had success in this league and he's already started a Super Bowl in his young career. But Mac
Yeah.
Jones is playing really well. And I'm going to quote Brett. He flat out said,
Well,
you have to play the hot hand. And I agree with
a
Brett.
hot hand.
I agree with
You know
Brett
what's something?
wholeheartedly.
Just about that, Richie, is funny because I mean, you know, I was on. I was like, hey, Purdy's going to do his thing because of his 3 years at Iowa State. Mac Jones is something about being with an actual quarterback coach.
Yes, indeed.
Because you look at him, yeah, you look at him now. Okay, like I said, look at Indiana Jones. Look at Mac Jones. Look at him. They look like they look like shit in New York. He had flashes. Mac Jones looked like shit in New England. He had twilight, little twinkles of flashes. Indiana
And
Jones
what
is
is the
seven and
common
two.
denominator? What is the common denominator? They had to take a step back before taking
Yeah,
a step forward. Daniel Jones goes
yeah,
to the Kevin O'Connell School of Quarterbacking. He goes to
right.
Indianapolis, I should say, and is balling out.
Looks like the first round pick we drafted. We supposed to have.
Sam Darnold sat behind Brock Purdy for a year, and then he lights up the league in Minnesota, and now he found a possibly forever home in Seattle.
Baker
And speaking
Mayfield.
of Seattle, Baker Mayfield.
Woo!
Speaking of Seattle,
Seattle.
they beat the ever living crap out of the Washington Commanders in the nation's capital. And I saw
Made it
some
look
funny
easy.
memes saying that the government shutdown wasn't supposed to apply to the local team.
I saw that too.
Jaden Daniels,
That was funny though.
that was funny. Jaden Daniels, why the hell is he in the football game when you are down by multiple scores like that? And then he injures his elbow on his non throwing arm, and now
Right,
he's out for another month. What the hell is
right.
Dan Quinn thinking?
You know something, Richie, about that? It reminds me of I saw another game yesterday where they were up big and they saw the quarterback in. It says about time we take that quarterback out. I forgot who it was, but I watched so many yesterday. And see, this is where Dan Quinn is a bad coach, like he was down in Atlanta, head coach that is. He doesn't make those adjustments, and that's the kind of problem he had in Dallas to DC because they could never stop the run,
But that was so
and
stupid.
it was stupid. They were getting throttled,
But
and you
buddy,
still
there's
got this
something
kid in the
about
game.
these. Yeah, there's something about these yard markers in the old RFK and now in the new Stadium FedEx, where you really got to question
Yeah.
things because the Theismann injury and the Smith injury with the yard hash is very very
Yep.
uncomfortably close.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
got
That's
going back
fact.
to the RG3 game and the Bobby Wagner thing, and now yesterday.
Yeah.
This is very disturbing with this organization in
It
terms
is.
of really gruesome and gloomy coincidences.
Yeah.
As the Commanders go, they caught the NFL world by storm last year. This year, they get provided with a tougher schedule. Terry McLaurin has not been right all season. Now Jaden Daniels is down.
Think.
They lost 3 other men for the season yesterday. They're
Yeah.
done. They're cooked.
Yeah. Mc,
They're finished this year.
McCaffrey. I forgot the other two. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
Christian's
cooked.
younger brother,
Yeah.
Marshawn
You know
Lattimore's
what?
hurt.
We might. Yeah. Lattimore's hurt. Like I said, and Scary Terry can't find the groove. He can't.
Yeah,
I
just an
see it as
injury marred year.
that's the only bright spot for the Giants. We might not finish in last place. Big deal, big deal. Yeah, with Jaden Daniels, like I said, I'm an LSU man, and I hate to see him down, but it looks like another RG3 man. I mean, he was never a big guy anyway. Just like RG3 wasn't a big guy.
It's
In fact,
scary,
RG3
but
was a little.
I think
It is.
the thing that makes me want to slap my own face is
Yeah.
that you took the football world by storm last year as a wild card. You marched to the NFC title game before meeting your match when
Mhm.
Philly ran them. They beat the
Right.
number 1 seeded Detroit Lions, who were the best team in the NFL last year.
By
Jaden
far.
Daniels, sensational year, offensive rookie of the year, just like RG3. But you're
Yeah.
going to put this young man in a game when he's already coming off of a hamstring, and he wasn't 100% playing yesterday. And don't think for a second that
Right.
didn't hurt with some of the hits he was taking because his mobility is not up to his personal standard.
Uh,
And you're not going to
Right.
protect this young man and put in your backup when you're getting plowed at home? Are you kidding me, Dan Quinn?
And you're down. And see, that's Dan Quinn's problem. It goes back to how it was in the Super Bowl when they were up 28-3, and New England's making it run. Make your adjustments. Didn't make any adjustments on defense. Green Bay versus Dallas 3 years season ago. Didn't make adjustments. Green Bay blew them out the water. Come back the next year. Green Bay beat that ass again.
It's
Dan Quinn.
just it's just so hard to wrap my head around with the ineptitude that I see on some of these Sundays from guys
Dan
that have
Quinn.
been part in this league for a long time. It's not just
Especially when they
discriminatory to
played.
Brian Dable. It's not
Especially when
just
they played in the
discriminatory to
league.
Dable. Yeah. It's
It's
like
not.
what? And keeping
When
it
you
in the
played in the
East,
league and you're making those mistakes. Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Keeping it in the East, Dallas Cowboys tonight in Arizona. I like the Cowboys. I like wow, I can't even tell you what just happened. That was funny. Dak
What happened?
Prescott, I'll tell you off air. It was pretty damn funny though. Dak
Dynamic
Prescott,
Dak.
big game tonight is what I'm brewing and cooking for. Unfortunately, my opponent in fantasy has Dak and I have Lamb, so I'm screwed. And then the Jaden Daniels effect. I
Yeah.
traded a 3rd rounder to get Jaden Daniels in that
Yeah.
famous trade with Ched. It might go down as infamous. And now I offered Ched another trade to give him back the 10th rounder that I received for Justin Herbert and get back my quarterback because Ched's in 11th place. And with a narrow defeat of your team, a narrow victory for Shed. I'm going to be making that deal to bring back Justin Herbert. John's probably going to punch his computer when he sees that. What else?
Well, Pops to the
Philadelphia
league.
Eagles.
Oh yeah.
We have a seller here, folks, and I'm a tweeter. I might be selling too. I understand Brett Bandick could be looking at an upgrade for the quarterback position. I suggested a particular trade that you might want to run, and he has voiced interest to me in James Cook. So maybe I get a 3rd rounder back, but I am the defending champion. I have won 2 out of 3 years. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to drive to the dynasty or do I want to just reset for next season? I was explaining this to my girlfriend and she just looked at me like, why are you saying this to me? What part of this do you understand that I don't care about?
The only one not up for the only one not up for trade is Hunter Henry. That's my man.
Philadelphia Eagles
Anybody
win the
else?
bye week. Philadelphia Eagles win the bye week by not doing anything at all, just relaxing at home. Other happenings in the league. Next week's opponent for those Eagles, the site will be Lambeau Field. Green Bay Packers, big loss to your local team where you are currently at. Carolina Panthers, you and Brett called it. I got to give it up, Idris. You guys both had it a little higher scoring, however. Great defensive performance on every metric for the Carolina Panthers. And let me tell you guys, Carolina, 9 weeks through, 5-4 record. These guys have a legitimate shot at not only making the playoffs.
6-4.
6-4.
No, 6-4. Yeah, 6-4. I think it's 6-4.
No, they're 5-4.
I don't know.
We're approaching week 10.
5-4, okay.
They have a shot. They have a shot to catch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in addition, and the Buccaneers have not had any real competition in that division, pretty much going back to the Brady era.
Yeah.
These Panthers are good, man. They're doing it the old-fashioned way. They're running the rock. They're playing stingy defense. They have a very underrated secondary. And they have a kicker who has a flair for the dramatic.
Right on, right on.
I like what I'm seeing
crazy
over there.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because like I said, people here are losing their mind. Well, I'm not in Charlotte right now, but even here where I am in Nashville, people losing their mind. And, Carolina is actually playing old-fashioned football. Run the ball, and then throw it. Because they don't really have anybody. Okay, you got Rico Dowdell. He's not. If you wouldn't recognize him on the street. You got Chuba Hubbard. You heard him, but you wouldn't recognize him on the street. But these two guys are playing some football. 1 and 2.
Chuba's been there for a minute because people forget Chuba used to be the backup for Christian McCaffrey.
He's been there for a minute, man. That's what I'm saying.
He's seen the bad times turning into the good times. Yeah, let me tell you something. What they got right now works, and do not be the least bit surprised if Carolina qualifies for a playoff berth that they could possibly make some noise in these NFC playoffs.
Who knows? Look what they did to Green Bay in Green Bay.
Their stock
Look what he
is
did to
rising. Yes, they did. And revisiting our show a few days ago, it was our Week 9 preview. I used the word fragility when describing the Green Bay Packers. They were the 1 seed going into the week. That's why I alluded to the fact that Philly won their bye week because the Green Bay loss is kind of big. Yep. Now it sets up a head-to-head scenario. And in recent times, the Philadelphia Eagles have had the Green Bay Packers number, winning 2 games against them last year, 1 on a neutral field in Brazil and 1 in the first round of the playoffs. Both winnable games for Green Bay, but games that the Packers both times lost. And I also said on my show, sorry to interrupt.
Before you go further, I wanted to make a point. Bryce Young, Jaden Daniels, similar builds. Bryce Young is actually a little bit smaller, but if you look at how they're playing Bryce Young, they're teaching that kid to play in the pocket, move the pocket, but don't run. That's what they should. And remember, their coach is a young guy. He's not even 40 years old. First coaching job, and he's coaching this kid, stay in the pocket, move the pocket, to where Dan Quinn's been in the league has been playing and coaching for 30-something years, and you're not teaching your quarterback or your OC, you know who he is. You're not teaching your quarterback move the pocket, don't run. You don't need to take these hits. That's the difference. And I'm not a coach, but I love my quarterbacks. That's coaching. Teach them to move the pocket.
And I want to piggyback that before I keep it in the North. We were talking about coaching and aptitude. Jackson Dart, same situation. Late in the game, taking unnecessary hits. And I know that in part that is Jackson's fault because he has publicly said, I'm not sliding for no one. And what pisses me off about that is that you're empowering one of your players to be reckless with their body. Brian Dable, I know that you're desperate and you don't want to get fired. But what the hell are you doing again? Yeah, bro. Because I do not want to see Russell Wilson come out. If I see him come out, I'm turning off the 2. I don't want to see no more gutter balls. I would have to say, Idris, the surprise of yesterday. There's 2 of them. But one of them definitely the Pittsburgh Steelers stepping up, playing their game. I think they heard me insulting them as they played a really good defensive game, wire to wire against a very good Indianapolis Colts team. And to the Colts' credit, they fought to the end and lost a close one where they were getting smoked early and they were able to hang around, which I think speaks on the character of that Colts team. They are still in a very good place. But I think the daughter of the late Jim Irsay I want to speak on her too. I think it's really amazing how she
Yeah,
is kind of going against the grain. She's got the headset.
yeah,
She's holding people
yeah,
accountable. Very
yes.
interesting what they're doing over in Indy right now. But the Steelers, I want to say this.
Hmm.
They feel Baltimore sniffing, getting a little life, getting back a perennial
Yeah.
MVP candidate, Lamar Jackson. And I said it
Hmm.
off air. I'll say it right here. Watch out for the Ravens. They have not played the Steelers yet. They have two meetings to come, and they're only two or so games behind. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Um,
Hmm.
but forget the Bengals. I love what Joe Flacco did. Career best game yesterday. But
God, he balled out yesterday.
complete Swiss cheese. The only reason why the Giants might not be the worst defense in the league is because the Cincinnati Bengals also play in the league. But my
Yeah.
God, it's got to be so demoralizing for any quarterback when you're just blowing up numbers, but your defense can't stop anyone.
And you know what about that too? I want to touch on I call her Sister Ursay because she's the daughter, and I want to touch on that with her. I like her because she admitted I don't really know this game like that, and I need to learn it. She said it, and and I like that. She said I'm putting the headset on. Da, da, da. She actually, and see that's how Ford, like what's her name? She's passed away. Uh, the one that ran the Lions. That's how she was. She was
Yes, indeed.
really into the game. And see, I like that from an owner because that's you're gonna hold people accountable. The coach can't throw the player under the bench. The player can't throw the coach under the bench. The GM can't say, I know what's going on.
Yes,
And I like
indeed.
that. As for Flacco, when he played in Cleveland, a lot of Cleveland fans and people all over say, he's wild, that old man, he's not gonna do that. I said, no, that's Cleveland. I said, it's just Cleveland. Oh, and then when he got traded, they said, he ain't gonna do nothing. Flacco's been looking like old school Flacco.
And
Flacco's
and
been
it
balling
speaks
out.
volumes on what they're able to do on offense because you have a dynamic
Yeah.
duo in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase that
Hmm.
week in and week out, like I told you about my quarterback conundrum with the Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
injury, and I got Aaron Rodgers, who's not a statistical
Yeah.
hound anymore. He might give you a 30-point game once every 5 weeks. That's not going to win in a
Yeah.
fantasy. I put
Nah.
out a claim
Nah.
for Joe Flacco today. And I'm thinking about changing my team, King Richard, to the 40-40 club because I got the two oldest quarterbacks in the NFL if that happens.
I'm just glad I got Daniel Jones as my quarterback because
I will say this,
he's the
Mr.
bright.
Salam. I
Yeah.
will say this though. I love me some Danny Dimes this year, but if you would have played Josh Allen, you would have beat our boy Shen.
Yeah. I know.
And if I
But
would have
actually,
and if I
I
would
have.
have played RJ Harvey, I would
Yeah.
have probably beaten Jake tonight as CD Lamb would have done enough to outdo Dak. But three
Yeah. I'm
points out
tanking.
of
That's why
Vidal.
I didn't really switch up. Yeah. I was tanking. That's why I didn't switch that up. I was tanking. I was like,
The other
if I win, I win.
surprise, the other surprise that I got to admit,
Yeah.
seeing what happened in the NFC North yesterday, Minnesota Vikings, big road win over the Detroit Lions. The Lions missed a golden opportunity to jump the Green Bay Packers in the standings.
Another team that you don't know which one is going to show up, the Detroit Lions.
Yes, indeed. And maybe I should admit this right now. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm just going to put myself on blast. My quarterback
Hmm.
conundrum is in part due to my stupidity. Because earlier in the year, I released J.J. McCarthy, the often injured one. And yesterday,
Hmm.
there's always going to be that's the best thing he ever did because he's barely played. But up to this
Right.
point in his very young NFL journey, with all the injuries, he didn't play last year in his rookie year. He had the
Nope.
best game of his career yesterday, and I picked him where he could have been a freeze for next year. So I'm going to take the blame on that one.
Well, you know what? You can't really hurt yourself for that because this is actually his rookie season, and he really hasn't played. He hasn't played enough to say, "Okay, I'm going to keep him on the roster just in case." Da 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 da. He's been looking like a bust. So
Yes, indeed.
I didn't see him doing what he did yesterday. I didn't see that. I thought they was going to get their ass whooped. After the
I
new
think
fiasco.
most of us
So
did. And I mean, the Packers,
yeah,
13-point favorites losing that. So the Packers losing, the uh, the Lions losing at home. Those are two home losses for each respective team. And then the Steelers standing up and saying, enough is enough. We're going to put together a defensive game for once. Um,
yeah,
they needed to. They needed to. Other happenings around the
they need
league.
to.
Tampa was on a bye. They're hopefully steady, getting healthy because Mike Evans should be
Yeah,
able to return this year, but we're not quite
yeah.
sure when that's going to happen. I imagine it'll be in December. Tampa's got to hold the
Mhm.
fort down. And when is Bucky Irving going to come back? That is hurting them.
They need him, man. They need him. They need that run. They need him.
Shouts
Yeah,
out to the Patriots and shouts out to the Bills as well, but I'll hold on that thought.
yeah, yeah. Tampa. Whew, yeah, because Carolina's coming, man. Carolina's coming,
Yes, they
and they
are.
got to be able to hold it down until. And what is Mike Evans going to be when he come back? Like I said, when is
Right.
Bucky Irving coming back himself? So look out, man. These guys are on your heels, and these cats bite.
I
These
have
cats
been
bite.
completely obliterated in Zach's fantasy league. I made the championship last year and I finished second. This
Yeah.
year, I have an IR list that looks like a Pro Bowl team, led by Malik Neighbors and Bucky Irving. Completely
Oh man,
obliterated my chances in that league. Yeah,
one's not going to come back, and one you don't know when it's coming back.
right. And by the time they do, it might be too little too late. And they don't have the luxury of trading draft picks. So you just got to take the
Week
fat L
17.
there.
Yeah, week
Yeah,
17 he'll be back.
yes, indeed. Now, moving forward to the AFC East,
Hmm.
Bills
Woo.
and the Patriots. We'll get to the Dolphins in a second about them becoming instant sellers, but with the new ownership in hand, the new general manager rather. Um,
Yeah.
oh, let's start with the Patriots. Not their
Mm.
perfect game, but enough to win,
Nah.
beating a familiar foe, a team that they made the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history against, Atlanta Falcons. And this is tough because the Falcons missed an
Yeah.
extra point, which loomed large. Drake May, I keep saying his name on every damn show. He keeps getting better.
Getting better and better and better. That guy looks so comfortable. And, uh, Atlanta has a good defense though. Top 10. I think they're top 5. So it's not like they went against any scrubs on defense because that Atlanta team has a defense. But Drake May, whew, I mean, this kid. I was telling Brett last week. I said, and me and him was chopping it up. I think he was doing something. When we was doing the show. No, we was getting prepared for it. So I said, Brett, these guys can make a Super Bowl. He said, nah. I said, dude, I'm not saying they'll win the Super Bowl. I said, but win. I mean, they could make a run. You know?
You're
So
getting some kind of. I hear a.
yeah. Hold on a second.
You're good, bro. You're good.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. You hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're good, bro.
Somebody tried to call in. Yeah, somebody tried to call in. And I'm trying to hang them up. Like I said, they could make a Super Bowl run. I'm not saying win, but they could make a run because they're good. And you only got to win one game. And one game at your home field, no telling. So who knows?
The
Who
caveat that
knows?
I find
But they're
interesting
good.
with New England. Oh, no, they're definitely
Yeah.
good. The caveat with New England that I find very interesting is that
Hmm.
while logical senses would say Buffalo will probably do what they got to do to get revenge in Gillette, that's not a
Yeah.
given right now. And Brett might
It's
look
not a
like the
given now.
ultimate genius saying that the Patriots were going to sweep the Bills when we both laughed at him. And now, granted, we knew the
Yeah.
Patriots were much improved and we knew that they had a chance to be a playoff team. But right now, the Patriots, by leading their division and by having that game up on the Bills head to head for now
Hmm.
anyway,
Yeah.
doing the hard part, winning in Buffalo. And this is another thing that people might have lost sight of. The New England
Yeah.
Patriots are undefeated on the road this year, folks. Both their losses have come at home.
And that's why I said to Brett, I said, Brett, it's not inconceivable that they make a run for the Super Bowl because you're winning on the road, and that's the one thing in the playoffs you have to do: win on the road. Can you win
Yes,
on the road?
indeed. And the thing is,
You know.
obviously, by winning the division, they would either
Hmm.
be the 2 or the 3. There's still plenty of time
Right.
left to see how this pans out, but they are very confident right now. And this is
Hmm.
probably Mike Vrabel's most versatile team. They're not completely
Yeah.
set up yet. Demario Douglas, 20 points in fantasy yesterday, having a ball game. Outside of Steph Diggs and
Yeah.
Hunter Henry, there's a lot of guys on offensively that you might have not heard of. But I'll tell you
Right.
what, between Boutte, Douglas, Diggs, Hunter Henry, your 2 running backs, this is a team that could potentially make a run. And the other part of this is that by their new success, New England is once
Hmm.
again going to become a free agent destination of attraction now, where in previous years, after the Belichick and Brady
Hmm.
departures, it hasn't been the case.
Yeah. You're playing with a young quarterback. You're playing with Mike Vrabel, who everyone says like this is the guy I want to play for. You're
Yes,
playing in
indeed.
New England, who got the tips. Everyone, I mean, why not? Why not go to New
Yeah,
England?
I mean,
You know, why
there's a
not?
lot of attraction, and it's a really good sports city. Now,
Yeah, exactly.
keeping it in that
Hate them.
division, yeah,
Yeah,
the Miami Dolphins playing the roles of sellers. I've seen Giants beat
yeah.
reporters suggest Jalen Waddle. I'm like, no, 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 no. And I'll tell you why. I had this word with Quentin the other day.
No, no, no,
He's too
no.
small. We already got Wandell. You need a big-bodied receiver opposite
I
of
mean, a big
Lee.
body guy.
Yes,
Right.
indeed. Yes, indeed. So that's all I have to say about that. And I wouldn't mind them finding a tight end that could actually catch the football. That would be kind of refreshing. Daniel Bellinger is that
Yeah,
guy. Unfortunately, he's injured. Theo Johnson
yeah.
has a
He
world of
can't stay on
athletic
the field.
ability.
He
I don't
can't
remember all these
catch.
drops at Penn State. He,
No,
he wasn't dropping them with
remember
this
him?
frequency at Penn State.
Nah, but he got to New York and start dropping everything. I'm like, come on, dude.
Unbelievable. Uh, keeping it in the East, the
Mm.
last point I want to make here. New York Jets are on a bye week after their emotional victory in honor of Nick Mangold. Don't be surprised if the Jets finish with a better record than the
Yeah.
Giants. And at this point of the year, you almost root for it if you're a Giant fan because you want the highest pick possible. Um, Buffalo Bills, big
Yeah.
statement victory over the defending AFC champion Chiefs. This is not
Woo!
unfamiliar territory for the Bills. They usually do beat these guys in Buffalo when they play in the regular season. It's the playoffs where the
Right.
Bills
It's the
have been
playoffs.
tortured.
The
Yeah,
playoffs. The
yeah,
playoffs.
yeah. Josh Allen, best quarterback on the field yesterday as Patrick Mahomes was under duress early and often. You got to tip your hat to the Buffalo defense, who was lackluster against Atlanta. They were lackluster
Mm.
against the Patriots at certain points where they needed to get off the field. They were lackluster
Yeah,
against
yesterday.
Carolina and had to dig deep to win. This is a feel good win for the Buffalo Bills. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah. I yeah, great game, man. They played their ass off. And Josh Allen, for those who don't know, 47 straight games with a TD pass and a TD rush. No
That's
other
incredible.
quarterback has come close. That
That's
is
incredible.
insane.
And
That's why.
Cam Newton
Yeah.
is going to get caught because he's
Oh
most
yeah.
compared to Cam Newton because of the dual threat. And no
Yeah.
offense to you, Cam, you are a former league MVP in your own right. But stop trying to put yourself in the same category as Josh Allen because you could never, and I mean never, get the best out of your receivers and tight ends and everything
Mhm.
else that Josh Allen has to work with the way that he does. Fall back, Cam, with all due respect.
And Josh Allen is up here. You're not gonna. He's up here. You don't let the media get to him. Josh Allen is up here, and see, and I think even though Cam was a little bit bigger, I think I think Josh Allen's tougher because you don't
Yeah,
hear
you
Josh
can't
Allen missing
teach.
games.
Yeah, he has a higher tolerance for pain. There's no
Hmm.
question about that. Because I remember a couple of years back, he had that elbow issue that definitely
Yeah,
hurt him. But he is a tough dude. Make no mistake about it.
tough
In that
dude.
regard, he's of the same cloth of a Philip Rivers, a Brett Favre. and Eli Manning. And I got
Yes,
news
sir.
for you. Ben occasionally missed games, but Ben was a tough son of a bitch too.
Yeah, Ben took hits. Ben took the
Ben
hits.
was a
You
tough
know.
dude.
Yeah.
Surviving that horrific motorcycle accident where he had to get facially restructured.
Yeah.
A friend of the show, a good friend of mine, made me aware that her mother was actually on the scene of that fateful day. So thankfully, Ben Roethlisberger survived.
Oh man.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
2004 quarterback class, one of the most
Yeah.
dynamic, probably since the
Yeah.
class of the mid 80s,
Yeah.
early 80s, I should say,
Yeah.
with Marino and
80,
Co. But
83.
yes,
Yep,
sir.
the 83 class. Yep.
83 class, probably still the best
Hmm.
of all time, but 2004, definitely no slouches.
Hmm.
Anything else before we move it along to the dramatics that was the 2025 World Series? I'm going to say this on
Hmm.
the way out of football. Bill Belichick has been linked to potentially returning to another football team. I know that his first team, the New York Football Giants, have been suggested, and a lot of people view it as much of a
Come on.
long shot. But when you take
Come
into
on. Come on.
consideration
Come
that
on.
everything
Come on.
that North Carolina's doing could be pretty much done and over with in November, $1 million payout back to the university would get Bill Belichick free. And I got news for you. A year out of the league, I think people might value him a little more this second come around when he enters potential interest. I say when. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. But we
Yeah.
talked about this off air. He has great relationships with a lot of coordinators that have helped him win over the years. One of those guys is named
Yeah.
Brian Flores.
That was all I was gonna say. With me, my final thought on football is this: Brian Aubrey, you need to break that record
Oh
because
yeah,
somebody
we
just
had
broke it
history
yesterday.
made yesterday.
Brian Aubrey, you
Little
need to go ahead and kick 70.
this probably should have been the title of the show, but how about Little Bigfoot?
Little Bigfoot.
Yes, sir.
But you know, I
68
knew he was
yards,
gonna do it.
NFL record. He did 70 in the preseason. And by the way,
Yeah.
they won the game against the
Won the
Raiders.
game.
Just like I said the Jaguars ain't that
Yep.
good, but the Raiders, you know, I
Yeah.
talked about Pete Carroll's
Yeah.
challenges. I gave some great introspective football database shit. And then I said, but you know what? They just fucking suck. And that's the truth. The Raiders suck.
I remember that. I died laughing too.
Smith had a good game for once,
Yeah, he did.
but
About
bad
time.
teams find ways to lose. And that's why the Raiders are
Yeah.
who they are. That's why the Giants are who they are. It's hard to
Sure.
believe. It's really hard to believe that the Las Vegas Raiders have a victory over the New England Patriots this year, but that was a long time ago in week one.
Yeah. In the words of Denny Green, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, rest in peace, Denny. He
That's
had
it.
quite a bunch of good sound bites. One of my favorites was
Oh
we let
yeah.
him off the hook.
We got
We
him
let
off
him
the
off the
hook.
hook.
You want to call
Yeah,
ass and call ass.
Dennis Green, rest in
One of
peace.
the
One of
top
the
five all
best.
time sound bites.
And I got news for you. You could also put him on a top 5 to top 10 list of coaches who didn't win a Super Bowl. He was a very good coach.
Yes. In Minnesota, he was freaking awesome.
And I
Yeah.
thought in
But we
Arizona
let
he
him
was
off the hook.
gonna. Yeah, he was good. He was
Mhm.
good. Minnesota,
Yeah.
one of the franchises that's hard to believe that they've never won a Super Bowl. When you consider that they
Right.
had Moss cooking over there for a while, and then you bring it back a couple of decades, Fran Tarkenton losing 4 Super Bowls. Fran Tarkenton, possibly the greatest quarterback not named Dan Marino to not win a Super Bowl.
Let me tell you all about that team. Give me 2 minutes. They had Fran Tarkenton, Amar Rashad, formerly Bobby Moore, the running back Chuck Foreman. They had the Purple People Eaters, Alan Page and
Yes,
crew.
yes, sir.
The all-time interceptor. I can't remember his name.
Jerry
Oh shoot,
Krause, not Jerry
Jerry
Krause.
Krause.
Not Jerry.
No, no,
Jerry
no,
was
no.
the
Paul Krause. Paul Krause.
Thank you for the correction. Yeah, Jerry
Yeah,
Krause was the
Paul
little
Krause.
man with big feelings. Rest in peace to you too,
Right.
Los.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. That team was loaded. 4 straight Super Bowls, just like Buffalo. Couldn't win it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Great team though. Great team though. Very great. Great
And
team.
you
Couldn't
could
win
put
it.
Philip Rivers on that list. You could put Dan Fouts on that list. There are
Yeah.
others. There are Tony
Yeah. Oh
Romo.
yeah.
Tony Romo and a lot
Tony
of
Romo.
metrics. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got some
Dan
good ones.
Marino.
Warren
Yeah,
Moon.
yeah. Warren
Got some
Moon.
good ones.
Shoot.
That Donovan McNabb. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you back on one myself. Dan Pastorini, Houston Oilers. He was a good quarterback. Kept getting them in the playoffs. Could not win. Could not
Now,
win.
not on the same tier as some of the great ones you just named,
No, no, no,
but
no. Oh,
guys,
no, 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 no. Definitely not. Nah,
but
definitely
but
not.
guys, but guys that are in the mid tier that also had successful careers and showed moments of brilliance. Mark Brunell of the Jacksonville Jaguars, another one that was very good, and
Yeah,
our former quarterback Kerry Collins, who took a expansion Carolina Panthers team year 2 to the NFC title game before meeting
yep.
Reggie White and co. And he also
Big
took our New
arm. He
York
had a
Football
big arm.
Giants. He did have a
Yeah,
big arm. And, he took
yep.
our New York Football Giants to the Super Bowl before meeting his match in
Mhm.
arguably the greatest defense that ever played. I think your cousin Emery Moorhead
Yeah.
would say, hold off on that thought, as the 85 Bears are usually the team that gets most compared to the
Yeah.
2000 Ravens. And of course, you have the 84 Niners, your Purple People Eaters
Yeah.
that you mentioned. Pick a
Yeah.
year in the 70s with the Steelers.
Oh yeah. Oh
And the
yeah.
86 Giants are pretty damn good too.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
hate the Dallas Cowboys, but the Doomsday defense back in the day, Dallas Cowboys. That's when I didn't have a beef with the Cowboys in the 70s and
Too
80s. I
tall
ain't have a problem.
Jones.
Too
Too
Tall
tall
Jones,
Jones.
John Dutton, Harvey Martin, Hollywood Henderson, Charlie Waters, Cliff Harris. I know that squad.
Hollywood Henderson was just a cool dude. There ain't nothing more to say.
That was a cool dude. That was a cool dude.
So 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 in case some of our viewers think that we only talk about the here and the now, our football database goes back a minute.
We go back. We go back 50 to 60, maybe 70 years. We go back.
Because long before any of these events happened, one thing about the father I had that I always appreciated is that he really stressed, if you love a sport, you better know about the front and the back of it. And my old man,
Exactly.
it was like a walking encyclopedia. We'll be making some steaks outside, having a couple of brews together, coming of age,
I wish
daddy, and
I'd have
son
met him.
moments. Yeah, I do too.
I wish I'd have met him because I'd have
But
sat
yeah,
down with that man. Hey, remember this?
yeah, he would have been a
All
great
right.
narrator for NFL films.
Ah, we need to do something like that one day. We're gonna talk about that.
Talking about Joe Namath at the Yale Bowl. He's like, he could barely walk and he ran. Yeah, I'm like, okay, Dad, okay,
we,
calm down.
we might need to do a show like that for real, for real.
Sky's the limit.
World Series time. World Series time. Let's talk about how the Dodgers went home.
Yeah, first and foremost, as much as I despise the Los Angeles Dodgers, I am a fair person, and I gotta say, Mr. Salam, the most impressive thing about the way that they won this series was defensive intelligence. You could fast forward to Game 6, surrendering, which a lot of ball fans might not even know is a thing because it doesn't happen very often. But a
Right.
ball getting lodged in the wall at the Rogers Center, the
Right.
Dodgers having the presence of mind, Dave Roberts
Mm-hmm.
having the presence of mind to make the defensive switch at that point.
Right. Right.
So long story short, the Blue Jays, it's almost like a ground rule double to a level.
Yep.
And the end of it is the game ends on a double play.
Yeah.
Game
Yep.
7 also
Sorry,
ended on
Drake.
a double play.
Yeah.
Game 7
Yeah. Sorry,
also
Drake.
ended on a double play. And, I don't know what the turning point is. Is it Andy Pajes when he almost ran over? Well, he did run over Kike Hernandez.
He did run. Yeah, he did run over.
I was kind of rooting for that because, listen, I don't wish injury on nobody.
Yeah.
I don't like Kike. He got the Red Sox roots.
Yeah.
That's not one of my guys.
Yeah. He that was coming to him. He was overdue.
And if Freddie Freeman wasn't such a phenomenal human being in real life, I would say, man,
Yeah.
that guy got a punchable face. But he really is a nice guy.
He's a real good dude, man.
But he got that
He's just one of
face,
them
though.
guys.
He got that face.
Yeah. He just got that face.
Shohei Ohtani did get lit up in a quick run back. Yamamoto, who wins the World Series MVP, every bit of deserving as he
Yeah.
put it on the line for his team. That was some gutsy, legendary stuff that he did.
Yeah.
But, normally I don't praise a loser, but I do want to praise the Blue Jays here as well. I don't think anybody in the American League could have provided a better series to the Los Angeles Dodgers because the Blue Jays were
Nah.
literally 2 outs away from being world champions.
Yeah.
One at bat that could get revisited. Vladimir Guerrero late in the
Vladimir
game.
Guerrero.
3-0 in the count. I get it. You're trying to put the ball out of the stadium, win the game. It would have been all right to take the walk there, Vladdy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Gotta
green
take the
light
walk.
on 3-0, you gotta get on base.
You got to take the walk. You got to take the walk, man. If it's 3-2, okay. Maybe 3-1. It's 3-0, you got to take the walk. You got to take the walk.
Another thing that may come back to be re-examined also. I understand why Bo Bichette was taken out of the game because of his sore hamstring and he wasn't going to be a valuable
Couldn't run.
base runner as he is under
Couldn't
normal
run.
circumstances. But this is my thing. Late in the game, IKF resorts to bunting, and it was a very good bunt. But if Bichette's up, is that the bat that you need in that situation? That's something to think about. And speaking of Bichette, sir, he's going to be entering free agency. There's a team that you and I are very passionate about that needs a shortstop. I would entertain it if I'm the New York Yankees. I would definitely entertain making an offer at Bo Bichette if I am the New York Yankees, as there's no guarantee that the Blue Jays are going to reinvest in him. Clement had a great series for the Jays. He should be proud of himself. Trey Savage, young rookie, shut down the Yankees lineup in a previous round. He's going to be good. But I was telling some Yankee fans this on Yankees Daily. I personally believe that it's going to be very hard for the Blue Jays to get that close again because Bieber is not a spring chicken, nor is Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer gave the best that he could offer. And he's a gutsy guy. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, no question about it. He's getting right into Cooperstown. And if Bieber can stay healthy in these latter years, he'll get in there too. Clayton Kershaw, shouts out to him, as he is probably going to call it a career. One of the greatest pitchers.
Might as well.
But I got a bone to pick with the Dodgers, and this has nothing to do with baseball and everything to do with respect. Why the hell is the royal couple of Great Britain sitting in front of Sandy friggin' Koufax?
Koufax shouldn't be sitting. The only one sitting in front of Koufax should be the catcher. And that's only because the catcher is on the field. Koufax, just like Warren Spahn.
His poor move, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Guys like Sandy Koufax, Warren Spahn, I'm going to the Negro brothers. Those guys deserve the front row. The front row.
And I will also put a name like a Bob Gibson.
Bob, you gotta get Bob.
And even though we don't like him,
guys,
and even though we don't like him, I'm going to put Pedro Martinez on that list too because he's an all-time great.
You have to. You have to. You have to. You either put them there or you let them sit alongside each other.
And of course, Nolan Ryan. It goes without saying, 7.
The great Nolan. Yeah.
And the late great Tom Seaver, the greatest New York Met of all time.
Gaylord Perry. These are guys
Perry was a boss.
These are the guys that spitball. These are the guys that have a seat that no one sits in.
No question.
Period.
No question.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the Yanks. I will say this. I was rooting for the Jays for 2 reasons. I did not want the Dodgers to be a repeat champion, as that was broken up a quarter century after the 2000 Yankees three-peated, the 99 Yankees repeated. So the Dodgers are in that territory now where they are a potential dynasty, and they have unlimited resources. It is what it is. So I look at free agency, and I say to myself, how can our New York Yankees improve this roster? Well, I've got a few suggestions. It might be unpopular. It might be unpopular amongst the fan base. Well, Boone's not going nowhere. We just got to accept that because no matter what we know is right, he's coming back.
Yeah.
But this is what I would do. I would strongly consider signing Pete Alonso, as he does have a decent relationship with Hal with Hal Steinbrenner. Pete Alonso
Yep.
could be a get. And with the exception of Aaron Judge, one of the phenomenal right-handed power hitters in today's game, and he is not too happy with the Mets for only giving him a one-year deal. That's a
Right.
guy you go out and get. He was your franchise cornerstone prior to signing Juan Soto. I
Mhm.
think he would fit in very well into that Yankee lineup. But the only way functionally that I think something like that could happen, it might be unpopular.
Mhm.
You got to try to find a partner to trade Giancarlo Stanton, because as much as I love G, he doesn't play the field. He's often injured.
Nope.
And
Yep.
let's keep it a buck. He didn't have a good postseason.
Nope. I'm with you.
Love
I'm
what
with
Trent
you. I'm
Grisham
with you.
did. I love what
Yep.
Trent Grisham did, but he's not going to duplicate a season like that. You got to bring
No.
up Spencer Jones, and you've
Yep.
got to ask yourself, do you want to bring back Cody Bellinger? It's debatable.
That's the one. But Giancarlo, I can roll with that for definitely, because I'd rather have Pete Alonso. And
I
I think with
believe
Pete
that it could
Alonso,
happen.
I think
It could
so. I
happen.
think with Pete Alonso, will take the cheese we sit out there for him. For one reason, he was with the Mets. He was one of the cornerstone players, and they didn't want to pretty much sit him long. They said, "Nah, we'll give you a 1-year deal." What be better to do just what Juan Soto did? Get on the train, take the ride the 7 train to the Manhattan, switch over to the 2 train, to the 4 train, go all the way to the Bronx. Why not? Do the same thing Juan Soto did. Come to the winner. Someone who's going to give you that money and say, "Hey, we want you here." Because the Yankees going to pay like, "We want you here." I want
No
Soto.
question
Yeah,
about
I mean
it.
not
No,
Soto. I want Alonso. Bring him. Yep, bring him.
yeah, because the thing is,
Give me Alonso.
there are trade partners where the Giancarlo
Mm-hmm.
Stanton thing could happen, because he does have
I
a no
hope so.
trade clause, but he is a West Coast
Yeah.
guy. If you could trade
Yep.
him to the San Diego Padres or possibly the Los Angeles Dodgers,
Oh, we can get a ooh.
and it's not even so much about the return. I just want him off the books.
And you know
Because
what?
if
I
you
would
can
go
go
after the
out,
Dodgers. Mhm.
well, I mean, he loves that ballpark and he also loves Petco. But the point is, or even the Giants for that matter, keep him on the West Coast. But the thing is,
Yeah.
the way I look at it, Ben Rice is a very valuable player because he could catch as
Yep.
well as play first base.
Right.
But the problem
Exactly.
with G is that he's a clog in that lineup.
Yeah.
3 positions of need that I want addressed in this offseason, one way or the other. Shortstop,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
would love to get Alonso. That would be the grand prize.
Yeah.
And if you're going to let Bellinger walk, how about
Mhm.
Kyle Tucker? Or how about Bellinger and
Okay.
Kyle Tucker because of their
Well,
time in
yeah,
Chicago together?
exactly. The reason I say Giancarlo to the Dodgers, he'll want to win a chip, and he know his best chance of winning the chip right away will be the Dodgers. The Dodgers
And when
wouldn't
you
mind putting
consider,
another slugger out there. Yeah.
and when you consider that
Mhm.
you got an aging Max Muncy, you got certain pieces
Yep.
over there that might not be exactly back. But the only
Right.
reason why the Dodgers might not work is because the Dodgers
Mhm.
value versatility. And that's something that Stanton doesn't
Right.
offer.
That's
Maybe
true.
it's the
That's
Padres.
true.
The man
Or the
has
Giants.
admitted how much he enjoys hitting in Petco. Here's one
Okay.
that might come as a surprise.
Mhm.
If you're able to get Pete Alonso,
Yeah.
would the New York Yankees have the audacity to trade I keep saying Juan Soto too, Giancarlo Stanton to the New York Mets to replace the power of Pete
Hey.
Alonso?
Hey.
You know
Do it.
that the Mets love our retreads.
You know that. How many have they had
And
of ours?
and to be fair, the one and only
Uh,
MVP season of Giancarlo Stanton was done as a player in the National League East, as a member of the then Florida Marlins, who are now known as Miami.
yeah. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. Because see, you know what the thing about us, Cashman, he's a knucklehead, but you know what? I think he's smart enough to con the freaking Mets management,
Well,
Uncle Steve, you know them.
the thing is,
Yeah.
because the thing is, if Giancarlo is the locked-in DH for the New York Mets, he serves a grand
Yeah.
purpose over there.
Exactly. That's what they
And you
need.
and you still have a three-headed monster where if you lose Alonso,
Hmm.
but now you bring
Ooh.
in G, he has a playing relationship with Juan Soto already. You still got
Hmm.
Frankie Lindor over there. It
Yeah.
might not
Shout
be a
out
bad
Lindor.
move
Yep.
for either organization. Now, this is all predicated on if the New York Yankees can sign Pete Alonso in the offseason, which I think they can.
I think they can.
And if you don't want to
I
go
think
big at shortstop, sorry, you go ahead.
hmm
No, go
I
ahead.
think with Alonso, I think he'll. Yeah. Okay. I think with Alonso, I think he'll want to leave. I think if the Yankees throw something there like, hey,
A
it just be
multi-year deal.
Uncle Stevie. Yeah, yeah. Now Uncle Stevie and them go on, but I think Alonso will do it. I think he'll be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind moving
Because I
across the
want
road.
Ben Rice to stay on the team. But
Yeah, me too.
okay,
Me
let's
too.
say this. Alonso ain't going to play 140, 50 games at first. He's going to DH also. So Ben
Yeah,
Rice gets his first base glove for that game.
Ben Rice gets his best. Exactly.
Not to mention that he also could catch because you want that
You
bat
got a
in the
glove.
lineup as often as you could make it happen.
You got a glove, and you got a bat.
And this is the thing,
You're
dude.
right. A glove and a bat. Two
If
two
you don't
gloves
want to
actually. First
go,
base and catcher. Yeah.
if you don't want to go
Hmm.
expensive at shortstop, but if you want
Hmm.
to have some sort of a solution, you might have that
Yeah.
in-house already. What's wrong with the man who led Major League Baseball in stolen bases? So guess what, guys? If you're stealing bases, what does that mean? That means that you get on base. I would
Yes. Exactly.
gladly take Anthony Volpe and tell him to go find his favorite spot on the bench and
Right. Long
plug
overdue.
in Jose Caballero, who might not be a forever
Right.
solution,
No,
because
but he's a stopgap.
like your cousin
You
said,
know.
your cousin made a great point when he was a guest on our show. Now, he was talking about a different sport, but he made the same analogy. You're not
Hmm.
always going to have the creme de la creme at every position, but you make it
Right.
work.
You make
Now,
it
if you
work.
don't want to go big at shortstop, but you want to go big at first base, in-house solution could be Caballero. The big solution could be in the organization already. His name is George Lombard Jr., but he's also coming off a rough year
You,
in the minors, which is why
you know
that's
who
the
was good at
frustrating
that?
part.
You know who's good at New England Patriots? Because you think about over the years, they had Junior Edelman. He wasn't a receiver in college.
No,
Danny
he was
Woodhead.
not. He
He
was a
wasn't a receiver
quarterback
in
at
college.
Kent State.
Yeah. Yeah. Woodhead. You had Edelman, and it was one more. The last one that retired with Gronk. Oh shoot. Anyway,
Welker?
they weren't. Huh?
You talking about Welker or Hogan or
Welker. Yeah, Welker. Wes
okay?
Welker. You know, they were all. They none of them were receivers. You know, and look, these guys put up numbers, man. You
Mm-hmm.
know, New England found what they needed and said, this is what you're going to do. It said, and I think, dang, I agree. I agree. I agree.
Two last things I'm going to hit
Whew.
on before we get out of here for the day. I've been saying that the encouraging thing about the young New York Rangers season is that although
Mm,
they were right around 500, a lot of their losses were one score games. So there's
yeah.
something to build off of. Their last couple of victories defeat the two-time Western Conference champion consecutively, Edmonton Oilers. That's a quality win. And then you
Yeah.
beat a young Seattle Kraken team. So I'm taking the wins wherever we could get them right now. But I
Win is a
still am
win.
firm on this that Igor Shesterkin, since getting the big money, has not been the same guy.
Igor has
And I
disappointed me big time.
and it's not all on him because when your forecheck ain't working and
No.
they're constantly in your zone, sometimes it could be dizzying with the amount of pucks that man is seeing. But there has to be a
Yeah.
happy medium. But the Rangers, and I said this
You got,
coming into the year, there's a lot of player turnover. So it's going to
yeah.
take time, and I'm going to be patient because I want to see more of the team of 2 years ago that won the
Yeah.
President's Trophy, as opposed to what we've seen with last year, which was just a team that just looked old, uninterested, and too many missing parts or parts that were too retreaded. So people wanted to kill Brandon Drury. You got rid of certain popular players. Chris Kreider comes to mind. Um, Keandre Miller, another one of my favorites. But part of getting back to a winning culture is you have to make painful decisions of players that teams love. last thought on the brain. Josh Hart recently seemed professional as always, but a little frustrated with Mike Brown's position on making Josh a sixth man value right now. He might start in the future, but as of right now, he's coming off the bench and he put up great numbers for the minutes played. Do you think this has more to do with Mike Brown protecting Josh Hart, considering that his body has been through so much, being the Iron Man for the Knicks that he has been, or do you think that Mike Brown's walling out a little?
No, I think it's the first one. I think he's trying to. Yeah, I think he's pacing him because they said
Mm-hmm.
Brown said we're going 10, 11 deep. So I think he's
Mm-hmm.
pacing him, getting him used to being late. Look, it worked everywhere I've been. It worked. You know, we're doing this as a team. If you're coming off the bench, it's not saying you're a scrub. It's not saying someone's better than you. But I need you later on in the season. You know, I
And
need
we
you later on in the
prided that
season.
ourselves on that because a couple of seasons ago,
Yeah. hmm
because of mass injuries, namely Julius Randle was the real big one. There were others, but Julius Randle's
Yeah.
injury a couple of years ago when he was still a member was huge. That's where you saw
Killed us.
the Nova Cats take over, formerly of the Knicks,
hmm
Dante DiVincenzo, who I'm still not convinced that a reunion could possibly happen. And
hmm
of course, Josh Hart, and of course, the big dog, or the big cat, as I should say. Not talking about cat, but talking
Yeah.
about Jalen Brunson.
Big
Knicks are
big body
undefeated at
Brunson.
home. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Knicks are undefeated at home, but winless on the road as they split a home and home with our forever rivals, the Chicago Bulls, who actually, that was their first loss of the season. Big surprises in the NBA early.
Yes.
Philadelphia
Yeah.
76ers, a team that was in pure disarray the
What?
last couple of years, really off to a great start. And the Chicago Bulls, who the Knicks
Chicago
just gave
Bulls.
their first loss. So NBA
And the
still
Lakers are
very
playing
young
pretty
into
well
the
without. Lakers playing pretty well without LeBron.
yeah, about that. I like what the Lakers are doing, and they're making a healthy transition with Luka ultimately being the face. But Austin Reeves has been anything you could want him to be in the absence
Woo!
of someone's king, just not my king.
Hey, and let me say this also before we go. Also, and that's what these LeBron fans need to realize. A lot of players that play with LeBron had to change. Like Chris Bosh was a 24 and 8 guy every night
They've
before
had
he
to
went to the.
alter it big time.
Yes, but you see how they play when he's not on the court. They play together, and everyone gets their numbers. Like, hey, let's do this. And see, and great player. Let's not get this. I don't have number 3. I have him or 2. I have him like number 8 or 9. I got a reason for that. One day I'll talk about it. But great player, but sometimes that greatness can get in the way, man.
No, I
You know,
get
it
it.
can get in the
I
way.
do. And I always think that LeBron is best suited as a facilitator first, a point scorer
Yeah,
later. And not saying that in his prime in Miami, because that was the best of LeBron, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Um, he could lead the league in scoring. He only did it once. He did it there. But speaking of making sacrifices, we've seen it with Steph Curry when they brought in Kevin
hmm
Durant. We've
Yep.
seen it with D Wade, that same Heat team you just referenced.
hmm
Because I'll be honest with you, the two greatest shooting guards in the history of this game, Michael Jordan at 1, Kobe Bryant at 2, 3 through 5 is debatable, but I'll drop a couple of names to you. Jerry West got to be in there.
Woo. Yep.
Dwayne Wade got to be in there. And
Yep.
then after those two, you could start really debating about who's number 5. If Allen
hmm
Iverson was 6'5", he might be the greatest of all of them, but he wasn't. Because I
You
never
said shooting guards,
just
right?
Yes, because I've
You
never
said shooting
considered
guard.
Allen Iverson.
Okay.
Yes, because I've never considered Allen Iverson a point guard, even though by positional value he was
Right.
that a couple of years because he was a shooter first, a shooter always.
hmm
But I definitely think AI could potentially scrape number 5 on that list. He wouldn't be lower than 7, anywhere between 5 and 7 on the all-time shooting guards list. But I
I'm
think
going
D
Rick
Wade's
Barry,
got to
man.
be locked. Rick Barry's another great one. He has the record
Yeah.
for the most points per game in the history of the NBA Finals. Now, be it was only one
hmm
Finals, but it's still very impressive.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Rick Barry is not a bad
Yeah.
shout. I think Jerry West, the logo is a good
Jerry
shout,
West.
but I
Yeah.
do think D Wade has his rightful place in the top 5. And don't forget about Clyde Drexler
Oh
uh,
yeah.
of
Al-
Phi Slamma Jamma fame, Houston Rockets winning
hmm
the second of 2 with Olajuwon, he wasn't part of the first team, and of course, making a
Yeah,
living.
Steve Kerr, Kyle Korver, shooting guards that can shoot.
Yeah, there's different
Shoot,
metrics
yeah,
to it. You got the guys that do
yeah,
it all, and I would say
yeah,
rounding out a top 10, you could talk about a prime Ray Allen. You could talk about a
Ray Allen.
prime
Oh
Reggie
yeah,
Miller.
yeah.
Reggie Miller's got to definitely be mentioned when you're talking about guys in their prime that did what he did as well. But I don't know how many I named, but I think I did a good job on the top 10 just by shooting the shit
Oh
here.
hell yeah. Oh you named some names. Oh hell yeah. Where they go? Hey, but nah, you name some shooters. You name some
Yeah, because
shooters.
I mean Reggie Miller was considered the most lethal 3-point shooter for a minute before
Yeah.
Steph Curry came into the league. And I'm going to drop one more name, and we've talked about this before. The man formerly known as Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Now
Oh
he was a real point guard, but this
yeah.
man missed the greatest free throw percentage for a career by just missing one extra free throw. That's how great he
One
was at the
shot.
line. And a lot of people
Yeah.
feel that in a different NBA, which was more physical, you had hand checking, it was not the offensive driven league
Yeah.
that it is now. He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. And in this era, he put up those Steph Curry numbers.
And see, one thing he did Steph couldn't do, he played defense.
Oh, he
He could
played
play defense.
defense at a very high level. And, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. It just shows you the change in the times because while many viewed him as anti-American and anti-patriotic and anti-everything, I think the only thing that he was doing was exercising his rights. As long before football players hit a knee, he hit a prayer.
You know the thing about that is, man? Yeah, and see that's why I didn't understand. Like they would pledge his allegiance, he was praying. I'm like, so and I don't want to turn this into a religious thing, but in the Bible it tells you you're not supposed to salute any graven images and stuff. So he was praying to God instead of saluting the flag. But he wasn't disrespecting America. He was like, if I knelt in prayer during the national anthem, I'm not disrespecting the flag. I'm paying homage to the Creator who made all this stuff happen. That was
No,
my
no
issue.
doubt
Like, so I
about
didn't,
it.
yeah, yeah.
No
So I didn't
doubt
see
about
anything
it.
anti-American. He didn't turn his
Well,
back or nothing like that. You know?
but the thing
Yeah.
is, whether it was anti-American or not, the and I don't have to agree
Shouldn't
or
have lost his
disagree,
career.
but one thing that I've always supported is the freedom of
Hmm.
self-expression because that is one of
Right.
the things that is talked about in this country as to why we are different than everybody else, or at least they say we are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's me. I'm like with me, I know freedom of speech is what it is, but I'm like, if you're doing something that's not harming anyone, it's okay. You're not disrespecting no one. Now, like, if you're praying by yourself, you're not harming me. You're not hurting me. There's nothing. I don't see anything offensive you've done by praying. I just don't see it.
Yeah, there's been a very
I don't see
convoluted
it.
view of what is supposed to be and what is not to be, and that is a bigger conversation for a
Yeah.
different day, no question about it. But as always, Idris, even when you're chilling on the side of the road, great show.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you interrupting your reading session because I understand that you were on your way to the public library out there.
Yeah. It's cool. Hey, we're talking football. We're talking sports. I'm all good. But we do need to sit down and have a show, just like we talked about NFL films. We need to have a show like that. We need
Well,
to
we did a
plan that.
really
We need to
great
sit down and
job.
get our.
We did a
Yeah.
really great job of revisiting some of the greatest teams that ever did it, and I think it goes hand in hand with basketball season ramping up. They're just in
Hmm.
the infancy stages of the season where we're going to start talking more about not just what's going on in the league right now, but what's also happening in the past and how we like to bridge the generations. Also, your guy Terrence
Hey, let
Crawford.
me hold up. Hold a second. Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say this right now. I've been saying for about 5 weeks there's going to be a college show. Here's the gauntlet I'm throwing out there, and Richie can hear this. If I don't do a college show this Saturday, I will put on a wig and a dress and do the next show. I will have my sister make me up, put the lipstick and everything on my face. And I will
Idris,
do
if
the
you wanted
next.
us to get sponsored by Bud Light, all you had to do was let me reach out to them. Remember when they used to do those commercials?
Yeah. Well, if I don't do the college show this weekend, we might have to. But there will be a college show this Saturday, or else.
I'm gonna do my due diligence in making sure that Mr. Salam and probably Mr. Zappi get this college show done because I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Look, me neither. That's why I'm going to do it. Because the internet lasts forever, and I ain't trying to last forever. At least not like that. So there will be a college football show this Saturday.
From your mouth to God's ears. Until next time, he is Idris. I am Richie. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on IG. Also, check out the V Mix, the Vicious Mix with this guy, Idris Salam, on live365.com. Check out our friends at the Casual Convo Show every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. Make it a point to check out our supporters over at the Bleed Blue Show. You want to talk about some Giant fans that are spitting some knowledge, definitely give those guys a look. And, of course, our good friends at the Sports Corner, Johnny Nast, as well as our guy, Joe Gal. Two of the best Philly fans you'll ever meet. And I don't say that very often.
They are. No.
Amazing.
They are
amazing
probably the two best.
Hard to not like those guys.
Yeah.
All right, college show on deck. Announcements to come for our next show. Last thought, for real last thought. Idris, I also want you to get into some thinking about what we're going to hit on with this Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis fight down coming up soon. And I also want to speak on how you feel the next couple of opponents for the title reign of Terrence Crawford are going to go, because I think it's going to lead to some good conversation about, okay, you got the belt, you got the big belt, you beat the big name. Now, how is your legacy going to be remembered in terms of defending that title? So, lots to talk about in the boxing world as well. For Idris, I am Richie. We are out. Have a great rest of your Monday, everyone. And if I see Shane Bowen with his key card, I have no control over this, but fire that man already. God damn it, John Mara.
This is what he's getting.
Yeah.